What is up, everybody? It's your boy Doody, back again with another video, and this time we're taking a look at our boy DSP's daily rap video after a big announcement. That's right, the announcement that shook the internet, the collaboration everyone was asking for, DSP and Ethan Ralph of all people. Good God. That's right, our boy Phil announced Ethan Ralph will be co-hosting next week on Smark Guys as a trial run. Apparently, our boy Phil has decided he wants to create America's Got Tal-Dent. I guess that would be the best way. And the first person to come up to show how talented he is, of course, Ethan Ralph. Now, Doody doesn't know much about Ethan Ralph, so I will reserve judgment. Anyway, let's see what Phil had to say, because there were a couple interesting things from last night's stream. So let's get into it.
Good evening, everyone. Phil here, and welcome to the Daily Wrap for what was Thursday, the 20th of March, 2025. So, how did today go? Well, first off, I'm very happy to report today was a drama-free day. 2 big thumbs up. We're back to having full days of content that have absolutely nothing to do with nonsense drama or anything like that. Today was a good one. Full podcast this morning. I was late. Why? Because I had major technical issues overnight. There had been like an app update, but also my network had gone down, which I didn't know. So when I came into the office to start the stream this morning, like everything had disconnected. I couldn't get this to work. I couldn't get this to work. Like nothing would work. I was pushing buttons and nothing would work at all. I'm like, what the hell? So basically I had to like resync everything. My lights were completely unsynced. Like I was like, remarkable how bad it was, how badly it had unsynced. So because this has sent me back like a half an hour of running around. I had to restart my router. I had to go into settings and mess with everything. It was really a pain. It really was a pain in the butt, all right? So, FYI, it was very annoying. We did have a shorter podcast today, but the podcast was positive. We had good fun. We were talking a lot, chilling, talking about some game news about Steve, the Jack Black version of Steve in Minecraft and the upcoming Minecraft movie, and how there's a lot of controversy around the version of this character. All kinds of stuff. It really was a good time, all right? So, overall, great podcast, and then we jumped into Assassin's Creed Shadows. After about 2.5 hours of Assassin's Creed Shadows, in summary, I think it's okay. It's not bad. It's not great. There's some weird things about the game that made me scratch my head why they did that. I'm going to make a very brief, 5-minute day one summary about it right now that I'm going to upload as a highlight after tonight's content is done. So that way people can get my day one impressions. I think people would be interested in day one impressions on Assassin's Creed Shadows after 2-3 hours, okay? But overall, not a bad game, but very different from classic Assassin's Creed. I don't know how much people are going to like this. It has a slow start, but we'll talk about it, all right? So the good news is, on this first stream, not only did we hit the goal, we exceeded the goal. We didn't get 2 goals, but it was good to get some extra to exceed the goal. And overall, I was very pleased with how that went. We were back on track. After having kind of a bad day yesterday with the drama and the nonsense, we were able to get back on track today. And obviously, that's a good sign that people want gameplay. They want my normal content. They don't want crap, right? So, it went well, okay? Tonight was Smark Guys, episode 10.
Of course, your boy Doody has to stop you here because, Phil, sorry. I have to disagree. Again, you're back to, so this is funny, this is interesting. So Phil, every 3 months, he has to retcon and change his story. So initially, remember a few months back, when the Kino arc started, our boy Phil said, all right, he can't continue playing games. He can't keep doing games, he has to branch out. He has to get into drama content, he has to get into DSP politics, he has to get into all these different type of content, the various content, or, vary up his content, because he's getting older and it's just the way that it needs to be, right? And he's even cried to PPP and DMs that he can't continue playing games. He hates playing games. He's tired of doing what he's doing. We've read the leaks. Everyone out there has read the leaks and know exactly how Phil feels. And what he was hoping that PPP would give him that boost and that audience so that he can get into drama content. Sadly, Phil sucks at it. He's terrible at drama content. He did it for 2 months, 3 months, and then decided to wage quit because the money, the support wasn't there, and no one really cared. People thought he was extremely cringe. And then you had his audience of main supporters, his super dense, that just want to see him play games, basically revolt. So Phil had to walk a fine line of doing drama content for money, appeasing the Kino folks, and then doing gameplay. So he's stuck because he refuses to take a leap of faith of anything. I mean, he did DS Politics. He did okay for the first 2 streams. It died, and then he quit it. It's just like everything in this man's life. If he doesn't get success right away and lasting success, he quits it. He doesn't work it. He doesn't put any effort into it. You know, as soon as he runs into any adversity, he runs and quits, and he goes back to his blanket, his cuddle blanket that makes him, his security blanket that makes him feel good, and that's of course, you know, getting support from a few whales and playing gameplays. That's all he needs to do. Now, the interesting thing, of course, is he came up and just said it was drama free, right? Yes, drama free. And then when we're gonna hear right now in this next clip here is the end of drama, right? And then what exactly does he do? Well, let's listen. Let's listen on what he plans to do in the future.
I flew solo again, just like I did last week. Now, as I had said last week, I was wondering how this show would go solo, meaning without having a co-host to join me and talk wrestling, but instead of just being me doing the wrestling commentary, how would the show go? Well, attendance was slightly less than last week, but not tons less. Like, I think we maintained around 200 some viewers on YouTube and still had like 80 plus on Kick. So about the same amount that I had last week, not by too few less. I think like last week was like 250 on YouTube or something. Okay. Engagement. The chat was engaged. They were talking, they were tagging, talking to me. We had some conversation back and forth. Support. Honestly, not bad. Did we hit the $150 goal? No, but we hit like 120. We were that close, and we did unpack a new pack of Topps cards that came from the new box. We now have 7 left to go for hitting $100 of support at any particular Smark Guys stream. We unpack one of those. So I'm not disappointed. It went well in that regard. As for the show itself, I enjoyed it. And I mean, I'm getting some feedback. Number one, people are like, will you rate the matches? I don't really want to. I think like a wrestling professional like Dave Meltzer, who watches it all day and has 20 billion matches under his viewing belt, he's one to rate them, not me. I'm not a technical master, nor am I really looking for that in this show. I'd rather just say, hey, was the match good or not? Here's what I thought, and here's what you get out of it, right? Some people are saying music. I'd have to look into that. Reason being, this show is the only real big show on DSP Reacts right now. If I put music in the show, it might get demonetized on me, and I don't want the show to be demonetized because I want people to watch it and make a few bucks on it after the fact. Because some people do watch it after the fact and do actually contribute as well. I've got a few super thanks on these. If the video gets demonetized because of music, then they can't even do a super thanks. They're not allowed to. So I need to be able to monetize the show. So I'd have to look into like music I could use. I don't know what I could use. There'll be like wrestling themed or whatever. I'd have to look into it. Okay, but anyway, outside of that, people seem to like the show. Now I made an announcement about 3 weeks of co-hosts that are coming up. I don't want to spoil that announcement. I want you to go watch Smark Guys over on the DSP Reacts channel, which is at DSP Reacts on YouTube, and tell me your thoughts. What do you think about this idea that I had to have multiple co-hosts, to have shows leading up to WrestleMania each week, and essentially, I guess I didn't end the show. I guess I should end it. Oops. End stream. There we go. I forgot to end the stream. Whoopsie. I want your thoughts on that. And if the thought is, I don't like that idea, I want to know why. I'm very interested in everyone's thoughts about it. And, but I think it's going to work. I think having a series of shows leading up to WrestleMania, will be interesting for everyone. Having a new co-host every week. But if you want the full details on that and who the first co-host is and stuff like that, be sure to go watch the show. Okay. So it went well. Covered Raw and SmackDown. I had fun doing it. People seem to enjoy it, overall. And hopefully you'll watch on demand if you didn't catch the show live. And we did get good support. I would argue that for 2 hours of me just talking about wrestling, making over $100 is pretty darn good. I'm not going to complain about that. We opened the pack of cards that I bought for the week, so that was fun. And next week, having a guest co-host could work well as well. So let's see what happens next week. All right? Fair enough. So overall, a great day. In reality, if you actually look at how I did overall today, between the first stream and second stream, I actually exceeded 2 goals. The thing is, we far exceeded the first stream, and we were just under the second, so technically it only counted for 1. So here's the deal. We're at 69 goals out of 70. All right? This week has definitely had some bumps, being that one night I didn't stream, one night was drama. We didn't hit goals. Tomorrow is the final streaming day of the week. If we hit the goal on the first stream early, we can order food and do the British Food DSP Tries It on that stream. That's what I want to do. That would be perfect, too, because Kat's working. She wouldn't have to cook when she comes home. All right? If we don't hit it, then it just has to wait. Whether we have to wait till Sunday, Monday, whatever. But I would like to do it as a weekending event. So if you tomorrow are going to come and tune into either the Level 1 podcast or to Assassin's Creed Shadows, please support that stream. Let's hit that goal as soon as possible. Let's get that food ordered.
All right, I gotta stop because the begging is getting too much here. Now, the first highlight I want to do is, of course, Phil, yeah, you accidentally forgot to shut off the stream. Sure. You weren't just waiting for a Hail Mary tip to come in, right, Phil? Right? You wanted to do your live daily rap without saying you were doing your live daily rap because you're pathetic and you're seething and you're coping because you're not hitting your goals. 3 out of 4 streams he didn't hit his goal, folks. Why? Because the kick support hasn't been there. You have to remember during the Kino arc, the Kick support pretty much wiped away the YouTube support. YouTube kind of felt like, oh, okay, well the kick folks are dropping huge cash. There's no reason for me to drop donations. And what you got mostly there were a handful of $1, $3 tips or super chats. That's all you were getting on YouTube. And yeah, and right now what's happening is YouTube is supporting, and no one on Kick is supporting. I think he got one membership or one sub on Kick yesterday, and that was it. And I think you could tell by him unbanning those 15 or so Kino folks like DJ Trump and all that. He is desperate. He's extremely desperate because he knows that he has to bend to the will of Kick. He does. And if the Kino folks want to come in and troll, then, that's fine as long as they support. The problem is many of them are not supporting. He called out Dark Side Dabbing yesterday. And apparently he's a mod on Kick now. And I'm going to do a video on that because he decided he wanted to call out a few people. He wanted to give them the Iron Chef Sakai treatment. So, Phil, if you want to give them the Iron Chef Sakai treatment, I think it's up to me to review what they're doing on the Kino streams and, make you aware of some of the stuff that they're actually saying, Phil. I think it might be best for me to do that. Anyway, that'll be another video coming up. As it relates to Smark Guys, you gotta love Phil. You gotta love Phil. He just went through an 8-month stint of drama, right? Just drama filled. Just agita. As much as even though he made some bank, he made money. It was just drama, and I'm pretty sure it gave him heartburn, and he had to deal with cat bullshit and yelling and screaming, right? So what does he do? He puts finally in his eyes, he puts an end to the drama. And what does he do? He jumps right back into the fucking drama by announcing or doing this super secret major announcement, which got spoiled. It literally got spoiled 15 minutes after the podcast started because Ethan Ralph and a whole bunch of people blurted it out that they were going to be co-hosts. So you couldn't even do that right, you fucking moron. What you should have done was you should have reached out to them. You should have got a tentative agreement, right? Not tell them yes or no. And then come out and make your announcement, you fucking idiot. And then reach out to Ethan Ralph and say, yep, you're going to be on. You're going to be on next week. But Phil's so lazy and stupid. He doesn't know how to do shit. Or maybe convey that to the person. Hey, you're going to be a guest, but I need you not to say anything. Please keep it hush. Don't announce it. I want to make the announcement. But even he couldn't even do that. So, of course, it got spoiled. Phil was salty that Ralph posted it online. He even called him out on his stream. So that's not a great start to a great working relationship. I don't know much about Ethan Ralph. I just know that Ethan Ralph and Kino folks just go at it from time to time. I know I believe he's in Mexico because of some legal issues. I'm not fully sure. I'm not up to date on the whole Ethan Ralph saga, but I will let you guys know this. Doody has a good knack of reaching out to people or having people reach out to him. And I'm not going to say too much because I don't want Phil to get wind. But let's just say that Doody may have had a few conversations with a few people. Let's just say that. Doody will just say that. And we'll see how things play out. Anyway, yeah, I mean, nothing like, Phil, nothing like stopping the drama of the last 8 months to then jump into more drama. That's right, just jump into more because people in your fucking streams, Kick viewers, Kino Casino viewers told you, hey, you should have Ethan Ralph, he's the greatest. And you decided to say, okay, if you're going to give me money, I'll do it. Without doing any research, without doing anything. I don't know. It's either he's too lazy or doesn't know, or he does know and he still wants to continue the drama with Kino Casino, and for some odd reason in his stupid brain, he thinks that this is one-upping Kino by having someone that they fight with all the time on the stream. It's just the same reason why he brought Review Tech USA. Did he not learn from the whole Review Tech USA interview when he brought him on how horrible that came off? How flat and stupid he looked? Phil never learned his lesson. He never learned his. That is why he is King Local. And even though Phil announced drama is over, more drama will come because Phil is drama. Phil is the very definition of drama. If you look it up on Google and you type in drama, I'm pretty sure a picture of Phil will come up because he just can't help it. He's a narcissist who needs attention, whether it's negative attention or positive attention. It doesn't matter as long as it's attention. And Doody loves it. Doody's here for the ride, and he'll milk it for as much as he can. Anyway, hope you guys join me today on the podcast. We're going to go over some stuff that we didn't review yesterday. It should be great. Peace out.